Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of FPL Backbenchers. This is your host Somnath. Hope you guys are doing well. As usual, I'm joined by my co-host Anjan. How are you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm doing pretty okay. What about you? Finally, season is coming to an end. Thank God.
You seem very happy about that.
Yeah, actually, I am.
Looking forward for the season to end.
Yeah, exactly. Looking forward, desperately right. Like coming to our condition personally, like all those ownership and all those stuff, and how Chelsea are playing. I desperately want it to end.
Yeah, everybody, a lot of people actually do need a breather. But well, in our needing of a breather, there is a lot of the season and probably the most important part of the season to go. Uh,
Yeah, exactly.
3 game weeks remaining, and I think these are three of the most crucial game weeks, not just from the perspective of us FPL managers, but in the general league state and everything wise, deciding who will be the champion, who will finish in the top four. So there is lots up for grabs. Norwich obviously has been relegated, so they are confirmed to be relegated. Most probably, we can also say that Watford are relegated. So there is still one position, and there are 3 teams. I would not say they are vying to get relegated, but there are 3 teams in contention who can get relegated, which are Burnley, Leeds, and Everton, which we'll discuss across the pod as well. And what a like roller coaster of a game week, and generally the entire week, because the mania and the craziness of Champions League and European football, what happened over the past 2 days in European result, because although this is not about Champions League, but it has a huge implication on FPL, be it morale wise, be it rotation wise, and it's still not over. I mean, still, it's going on. Right now,
Yeah.
Leicester are playing, and as well as West Ham are playing. West Ham are already down to 10 men and losing the match 1. So, looks pretty bleak for uh, West Ham. Well, lots to cover, Anjan. Not much time for pleasantries. Guys, please like the channel, do subscribe, and we are coming to the end of the season. I think we've done all the game weeks. If I'm not wrong, we
Yeah,
have not missed a single
yeah,
game week.
yeah.
So, love your support, love your encouragement. Whoever has supported us along the journey, your love does make us go ahead, and hopefully we can keep bringing quality content over the next season as well, and finish this season on a high with a good rank from both of us. So we don't really, literally, don't want to live up to the name of backbenchers, I think. So yeah, we have to be there. So okay, like let's quickly get into the meat of the thing and look at the fixture. So as you guys can see, it's such a humongous fixture. It was not getting fit, so I had to segregate. So I've kind of segregated it in the sense the left hand side is the single game week and the right hand side is the double game week fixture or the repeat fixture for whichever teams. So I think we should start with the double game week teams in that sense, Anjan.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
that's what
Completely agree.
everybody wants to know, and
Yeah.
I think there is a lot to discuss. So
12 teams actually 12 teams are having a double game
yeah,
week.
as you guys can see, 12 teams. Quickly, if you can't see, it's Aston Villa, Liverpool, Leeds, Chelsea, Leicester, Norwich, Watford, Everton, Wolves, Man City, Spurs, and Arsenal. These are the 12 teams that are doubling in game week 36. It's the biggest double game week of the season, daddy of all the double game weeks, and well, we are all hoping that we can score humongous points. So, upfront, I mean, if we talk about Liverpool, Liverpool has 2 fixtures, one of them being Spurs uh, at Liverpool Stadium somehow. What's the name of the stadium? It has completed. Okay, yeah. So
Enfield,
I had
Enfield.
completely Anfield had completely gone off my mind. I don't know why for a quick second. Uh, Happens with age, guys. So yeah, it's an important fixture against Spurs at Anfield over the weekend, and their double is against Aston Villa at Villa Park against Steven Gerrard, Liverpool legend. So yeah, there are a lot of narratives that will fly around in that particular match. And but anyways, it's an important match, Anjan. The
Yeah,
Spurs one, and I think it's
yeah.
an
First one
important
is quite
match.
important.
Yeah, it's an important match for both the teams. The worry for so Liverpool have actually qualified to the Champions League final. So well, the morale factor will definitely be high because there wouldn't be any slump in morale, considering they have reached the final and they are supposed to play Real Madrid in final. That being a separate issue altogether, there are some worries regarding people worrying about rotation as to who might play both the fixtures. That is one of the major questions that a lot of people do have in the community. And apart from this, like, what is the prospect of this particular double game? So I would be personally really shocked if Mo Salah does not play both the fixtures.
Salah is
I
definitely playing.
yeah,
Salah is, I think, definitely playing. I think he's the sure shot one who would definitely play both the game weeks. I
absolutely,
mean, like among the front four, I'm saying he's the one that he would play 120.
absolutely.
Like he will play 180 minutes for
And
guaranteed.
I think both the fixtures, be it the Spurs one or the Villa one, it typically suits Salah as well. I mean, well, anything and everything suits Liverpool, but especially these kind of games, I think it suits Salah well. Salah did get his rest in game week 35, which is the last game week that happened. It was a whirlwind of a game week. A lot of people got benched. Salah was one of the casualties, and I think there is no absolutely no reason why. I think all the players that got benched in 35 are more or less, in my opinion, made to be playing.
Yeah, yeah.
Be it Trent, be it Salah, I think absolutely no doubt, considering that they both are going to play. So apart from this, uh, the doubt we will get into the match fixtures that we'll discuss that. But let's just quickly cover like who we suspect to play both the games or what is the game time that we are looking for in the players as such. So the next big doubt that people have is about Robertson. So now the interesting thing about Robertson is, first of all, he's a workaholic, work machine, absolutely beast of a player. Uh, he has the exact same energy when he starts the match and when he finishes the match. If anybody has watched the Champions League match, you will see the tackle that he did in the 92nd minute. Looks like he just started playing the match. So energy wise, he has a lot in abundance. Especially also another thing to note, I think a lot of people are. I do agree that Simicas is a very apt, you can say, replacement or a substitute for Robertson when he's not playing. But I think the magnitude of the fixture that Spurs is at the weekend, I don't see Robertson being benched for that particular match. Also against
Yeah,
Villarreal, I think he was subbed off at 80th minute, which does suggest that he was being rested for the next match. Your opinions on that? I don't think Robertson would be benched for either of the matches, to be honest.
uh, for me personally, I think for Robertson is definitely starting against Spurs, but I feel like he might be benched for the Villa match. I think uh, the problem is that you, you have to see three matches in a week,
Mhm.
like the Spurs game, Villa game, and the Chelsea
FA,
final.
FA Cup final.
Yeah, yeah. So like it's on Saturday. I think Liverpool are playing their next match on Wednesday, right? So I feel Klopp would want some freshness in his team, considering they played in the midweek of Champions Leagues also. So I feel there is a slight chance that he might be benched against Aston Villa, but against Spurs, I feel completely he's nailed on.
Uh, Liverpool play their match on Sunday, or rather
Yeah,
Saturday night, to be honest, Saturday late night. If I'm talking about UK time, that is. and Liverpool play their double game week fixture against Villa on Tuesday night, UK time.
Yeah,
So the gap in between both the matches is probably not as much, but I think the gap from the Villa match to the FA Cup final is quite enough.
yeah.
I mean,
Saturday to Saturday.
yeah. So
Mm.
no, it would be Tuesday night to Saturday. So I think considering the stature of the team and the kind of squad strength that Liverpool have, they are more than able to cope up with that. But I wouldn't think that the Aston Villa match is particularly that easy a match that they can take it lightly. But yeah, it's a fair enough assumption that probably Simikas might opt in for Robertson, or there might be a 60-minute appearance for Robertson, or probably he comes off the. I don't see Robertson coming off the bench. If he misses that match, then he misses it entirely, or he plays 50, 60 minutes and gets subbed off for Simikas. Uh, Next, another player that I'm probably almost assured that plays at least. Now we are getting in the zone that if you are talking about players like barring Van Dijk and Allison, I think these two players will also be confirmed playing the entire both the matches. I don't have any doubt that they will be missing both the matches. Um, but if you have to consider about the attackers, I think probably Jota is the next in line who gets the most minutes. I'll also be surprised if Jota does not play. There is this
I,
narrative
I,
that Jota did not play well in the Champions League match, but I think at the post-match conference, Klopp pretty
it
much
doesn't
cleared
matter
that.
actually.
Yeah,
No,
it
I
doesn't matter
think
exactly.
it doesn't matter. I think the thing you have to say. I think I think Mane is probably missing one match. Mm,
Probably.
probably he's missing one match. I think probably he can miss the Spurs game also because he played in game week 35 and he played in Champions League semi-final also, and I think he played almost 80 or 90 minutes, I guess. So I feel there is a rotation risk that he might be benched against Spurs.
Yeah,
Uh, I
I
don't think
think
so that Jota is not that nailed on. I think look, uh, if you see from the backwards point, like Chelsea match is the biggest match for them. That is FA Cup final. That particular match, I see Salah, Mane, and Luis Diaz, Luis Diaz starting that match, for sure. So,
yes.
like looking from the backwards, then you would expect that Mane should be benched in one particular game. So, whichever game he is benched, I guess Luis Diaz also would be benched in one particular game. So, I feel considering this, I think Jota is pretty nailed on for me.
I think minute-wise, I completely agree to it. Anjan doing some reverse engineering for us that we used to do in our college. But anyways, yeah, fair play, good enough. Uh, I think minutes-wise, Jota and Luis Diaz probably will be very similar in this double game week. I expect Jota to
Yeah.
play one complete match. I expect Diaz to play one complete match, and I expect probably Jota to play two matches even. I don't know. About Mane getting rested, although Mane is a very nice differential, I think he's the player that should be avoided the most because he is the most prone to be having a rotation because he does need a rest. He has been playing constant. So yeah, probably the Villa match looks like a Mane benching kind of a situation. Personally, for me, uh, if Mane is benched, then you would assume that Jota would play that match as well. And I am pretty confident that Jota starts the weekend as well against Spurs. So yeah, I
I
think
feel, I feel Mane would be benched against Spurs. I think Jota and Luis Diaz
yeah,
would start. I think Jota, Luis Diaz, and Salah would start this match.
Salah. Mhm.
And I feel against Aston Villa, I think Mane, Jota, and Salah would start that match. And I think against Chelsea, Mane, Salah, and Luis Diaz will start that match. That's my opinion. Like
Yeah,
thinking about
absolutely.
the
I think
like
it's a fair enough assumption because I was also actually plumping for the same kind of rotation and chopping and turning around for Liverpool to happen. So if basically to why we are dissecting so much, if you're looking for a punt, I think Jota is a very decent punt over double game week. If you're looking for a Liverpool attacker, and probably if you cannot extend your budget till Mo Salah, who I feel is, well,
is a
he's not.
must have actually.
I would not extend to say that he is absolute essential because I myself don't have him. Uh, but that is not the reason that he is not essential. But yeah, he's pretty close to essential as it gets for this particular game. So yeah, if you can afford Mo Salah, I think it should be a priority transfer. But yeah, coming up to well, moving on for Liverpool, I think the Spurs match.
Okay, fine. Why don't you say like your score prediction for this Liverpool Spurs and Aston Villa
I
Liverpool?
think
Like
I don't want to do a blatant score prediction as such, to be very honest. Uh, if we should, I think also for this particular match, I think it's a must win for Liverpool. Liverpool have absolute. We also have to see the game state, the league state, and everything. What is the mentality going forward? I think Liverpool have. If we consider that in the FA Cup final, Liverpool are favorite against Chelsea to win, which is absolutely a fair assumption at this point of time. I'm not saying that Chelsea cannot win, but if you see who are the favorites to win, I think everybody will peg Liverpool to win the match. Um, I feel Liverpool are also favorites to win the Champions League final, in spite of the amazing turnaround that Real Madrid did last night against Man City. I feel Liverpool's attack will be too much for Real Madrid. That I don't think that Madrid will be able to cope. So I think they have absolutely a very realistic chance of at least going for the quadruple, if not winning it. And I don't think there will be any slacking off from Liverpool. So I don't particularly see any other result than Liverpool winning the match against Spurs. Uh, I actually cannot see any scenario that Liverpool might lose. I'll say that it would be somewhat around 2-1 kind of a scoreline. Uh, I expect Liverpool to be very attacking. I don't expect Spurs to sit back. I also expect Spurs to be attacking. There is not much midfield battle. If you look at the midfield state, Liverpool's midfield is very superior to Spurs. So yeah, there is absolutely no question to them that they will boss the midfield. So it will be very end-to-end kind of a game. I feel somewhat around. It can be even 3-2. So it should be a very highly energetic, highly entertaining game. What do you? What's your take on that?
uh, I think Liverpool will win both the matches. I think they would keep a clean sheet against Aston Villa. They won't keep a clean sheet against Spurs.
Now, what about the Spurs match? So how do you see? I do you think Spurs can get a result? They win them. I don't see.
That depends
Hot take.
how like Conte has a tendency to play good in big matches. So uh, yeah, I won't be surprised if Spurs draw the match. But yeah, I would be pretty surprised if Liverpool lose the match.
I think if Liverpool were to draw this match, it's as good as over because City does not have anything else to play for. Even if we consider that they might be demotivated, that demotivation, which I don't feel like a professional team like City will let hamper. But even if we consider that demotivation, I think that will last hardly one match. So I don't see any scenario where Liverpool will slack off and just let it go. As I said, the momentum is also with there. There is a happy feeling around the club. I
I think
personally,
yeah, fair enough. I think Liverpool are favorite to win. both the matches.
Yeah, because I personally feel this is again my opinion and it might be a bold take. I think Liverpool are much more relieved not facing Manchester City in the Champions League final. They would be much happier to face Real Madrid. That is my personal feeling. But
Let them let them face them first.
yeah, speaking about well, although both Spurs and Liverpool's defense have absolutely been solid for the last 6 game weeks. I think Liverpool ranked second, Spurs ranked third. So although both the defense are very performing like or performing their underlying statistics at least very strongly, but I feel Liverpool's attack is also third best over the last 6 game weeks and over the season, uh, or rather second best. So yeah, I think it should be a very entertaining match. Aston Villa, although I think Liverpool does keep a clean sheet. I don't see it as a very good picture for Villa as such. I'll probably go with the 3-0 against Villa. I think that would be a fair enough score. I expect it to be goal scoring as well from Liverpool's end. Might be a bit more, but I think conservatively 3-0 is because they will also like to build momentum into the FA Cup final.
Yeah,
I don't think
true.
they will be just managing the game out of it. So yeah, I think that's about Liverpool. Next, I think should we talk about Chelsea or Man City first?
City first.
City first. Okay. So City's on paper they have a brilliant double game week against Newcastle and against Wolves away. Newcastle is at home, Wolves is away. I don't actually buy into the narrative that City will slump a lot. The only problem with this double game week is now that City are out of Champions League and there is no need for rotation. So if the entire squad is available, then it is a very difficult task to predict actually who will start for City because it will be an absolute minefield.
I
There has
think
been there
I
has
think
been
like
no
KDB is
communication.
nailed. I think like KDB is nailed for both the matches.
I wouldn't say because specifically why um, I don't know why I don't know if you have watched the match last night or not. So KD De Bruyne was hooked off in 72nd minute, and City scored the goal after that. So while City were actually not winning last night's match, they were winning the tie, but they were not winning the match yesterday. Why KDB was hooked off? Was there an injury? Was there a fatigue? That has not actually been cleared by Pep Guardiola. If they were winning the match, KDB was replaced. It would have made sense that they were sealing of the match, but that was not the case. So
No, KDB switch was a tactical switch. He was like playing horrendously, I guess.
no, no, he wasn't playing very horrendously. To be honest, I particularly feel it was had to do with something like a niggle or some kind of botheration. That's why KDB was because I didn't see KDB playing bad, and I didn't hear also Pep commenting anything about KDB struggling gameplay wise. Uh, Another major reason is I don't think City needs KDB to beat Newcastle. They have enough quality, so it's not a very difficult tie where they need to unlock. Although Newcastle have improved massively, but I still don't feel so. I am not saying that KDB won't start, but I think I would be less comfortable now that City are out of the Champions League in picking KDB rather than if they were in the Champions League while picking KDB.
No, I think like you see in this sense like KDB is their one of the best men in that particular team. Now City have nothing to play for, so like definitely they would start their best man.
True. I think the only botheration for me is the fitness factor. I am not sure if we'll be getting a press conference or not. I'm guessing probably yes,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
we would be getting.
We'll be getting up on
So
Friday.
if yeah, if as Anjan said, if it's not a issue with the fitness, then I think yeah, he's an absolutely great pick. Another pick, I'm talking specifically right now. We are talking about attack solely. We'll discuss the defense after this. So another pick I personally like is Mares. I think he would be a very good differential pick. I don't think a lot of people have Mares. So if you want to go a tad different in the double game week, I think Mares is a brilliant punt. I don't see any reason right now, if we are to go by this factor that City has the, which is the actual fact that City have only the 4 league games to play for in this season. I think Pep will try to put out his best team. Another factor favoring that is Mahrez was actually substituted earlier uh, last night in the Champions League, so he'll be a bit more fresher than a lot of players who had to play for 120 minutes. So players like Foden probably, I don't think probably Foden will start. Although Foden is a fitness monster once again, he whenever he's fit he starts.
Foden is a okay. Fitness monster is okay with that, but I think Foden is one of the favorite of Pep. I think he generally always starts.
Yeah, but I think although largely as a group, City won't be affected, but then also we have to temper our expectation and understand that Foden and players like in that, at least at that age bracket, probably are not as matured enough as a KDB to handle those emotions that of going out of Champions League semi-final when they were actually winning till the 90th minute. So yeah, I wouldn't suggest or I wouldn't feel comfortable picking Foden for this double game week at all. And to be honest, if you actually look at Foden's output throughout the season, I think it's somewhat like 3 goals and 8 assists for the entire season, which is not exactly very spectacular. Although he's playing in a front three for Man City, his output, at least FPL wise, are not exactly that great. So specifically for me, I don't think he is a good pick, at least FPL wise right now. Also, your thoughts on Jesus? I think
I think I think he is the man in form, but he played many games like continuously. I don't know, like Pep would just go with him or not. I think still Pep would go with Sterling. I feel.
personally for me, I think Jesus will start again because he was again very good last night. And much like KDB and Mahrez, he was also hooked off earlier before the match was over, before the 90th minute. I expect the front three to be actually Sterling, Jesus, and Mahrez in the front. Although I would add that when Sterling was subbed in last night's match, he looked very poor.
Yeah,
So he was not
completely.
on point or he was not looking very sharp in that sense. And as we have come to know, or at least by Pep's own admission, that he plays or he rewards performance. I don't think that was a rewarding performance, albeit it being a very small appearance from Sterling in last night's match. I don't think it might warrant a start. So yeah, I feel it's either KDB or probably Mahrez. Apart from this, I don't think personally I'd be comfortable picking anybody else. For my particular suggestion and for my particular team might be controversial. I think I would probably look to completely avoid City's attack. This will be a very controversial statement, but I think these particular fixtures are suited more to the defense than to the attack. Bulls, when they at least had Adama Traore, they were a bit adventurous against City. They have nothing, right? They have zero creativity in that team. If they,
in defense, okay, like you were saying about defense, I feel there is a niggle for, I think Laporte has a knock or something.
there has been no confirmation. It's just baseless to Twitter rumors that somebody has put up. Somebody said that Laporte was tackling groin injury for the last 10 minutes, which there is no basis. Pep at least haven't come out and said that. Somebody said Diaz was suffering from an injury. The only thing that we probably know is Cancelo is absolutely nailed. I think to
Yeah.
start both the matches because they
Mm.
don't have a right back. Walker got injured last night, so that
Walker wasn't fit enough to start that match, in fact. So uh, he just started to he just started to match the pace of Vinci Junior. So I guess he was not at all fit enough even to start that match. So like I
one
think
receiver.
Walker, I like I think Walker season is over. I guess.
I wouldn't say as far as it being over. I think he will still play probably the last couple of matches, but I don't see him starting at least this game week. Vinicius Junior is absolutely one one PC lad. So, but in saying that, I don't think Zinchenko is nailed for both the starts. I think I expect Nathan Ake to start one of the matches at least left back. Uh, I would say Laporte is more nailed than Diaz for this double game week because Laporte was actually decent last night. I would say he was much better, although City's defense wasn't exactly good in both the legs. But Laporte was comparably better, and also Pep favors that left-footed defender, central defender a lot. So there might be rotation on the front of Diaz. So might be we can see Stones coming in for one match. So ideally, probably you should not double on City's defense. But if you have to double, Cancelo is absolutely nailed, and I'll probably take a punt on Laporte over Diaz. Although Diaz is, according to the models, he is predicted to score more points than Laporte. But I would personally still, I think there might be a rotation for Diaz because Diaz was absolutely to blame for the penalty that Benzema got. It was an awful challenge. The challenge made no sense. I mean, if he would not have done that tackle, uh, I don't think that would have been a goal by Benzema. But
If you want to like if you want to rank the city pick, then what would be your rank? Any
Cancelo
any
first,
yeah.
Cancelo first. I think Laporte second, KDB third. Just due to the price tag, because if it's a price tag issue as well. Because if you are considering in the same similar brackets players like Mo Salah and Kim Son and KDB, I think out of the three, probably for me at least, KDB will come last or third
Yeah.
rather in that ranking. So yeah, that's why that. And I genuinely believe that these fixtures are more suited to a clean sheet. I'm not saying City cannot score. In saying that, I would say probably City scores like 3 goals past Newcastle. We also have seen a lot of times a reaction right after a big loss from City, so there might be a reaction in the match. But considering how Newcastle have showed up and how good they are right now, at least much better than they were previously, I think 3-0 probably to City, and I absolutely expect Wolves to park the bus, so I would probably go for a 2-0 to City.
Agree.
Uh, let's move on to Chelsea. We're having a lot of elaborate discussion, I think. But anyways,
Yeah.
moving on to Chelsea, I would say that when
Charity FC, come on, yeah. We are Charity FC. Come on. I think like Wolves haven't owned, I think for the 4 or 5 game weeks they haven't owned, I think for the last 3 or 4 game weeks they haven't played that well. So they are playing Chelsea next. Come on, they would definitely get some points.
so I, for me personally, I think my narrative has actually changed since that last game week has happened, and since then till now, what my personal feeling for Chelsea was, or my narration for Chelsea was for this double game week, I think that has changed considerably. I personally believe I'm getting straight on to the results, but I personally believe Chelsea keep a clean sheet in both the matches against Wolves as well as Leeds. This is my belief. I absolutely think so. Uh, I think you would be better to speak about rotation much more than me. I think. What do you feel?
Come on, yeah. I think we are playing on the Thursday night and our FA Cup final is on Saturday. So do you really think that our first team players would play on Thursday? I don't think so.
Chelsea's
So
actually
I think
first leg against first leg. I'm sorry. The first match against Wolves is on Saturday, and the match against Leeds away is on Wednesday night. So from Wednesday to Saturday, I don't think that it should be a challenge for a team like Chelsea. Secondly, I think going as per what Tuchel was saying in the last post-match conference, I think he mentioned something about Chelsea not able to keep a clean sheet for the last 4 matches straight away,
yeah.
and Chelsea not
Hmm.
performing up to the mark as to how he at least expects to perform. He said that conceding a goal or losing the match is not a problem if it's a very good play from the opposition team, but it is actually not a very good play from us. So I don't think if Chelsea have any realistic hope, because Chelsea, the FA Cup final is all that they have to play for in this season. They have nothing else to play for, to be very honest. So if they have any hope of actually beating Liverpool, I think they need to build a momentum, because in the present scenario, if Chelsea goes and against Liverpool, they're absolutely losing. So I absolutely believe that Tuchel would love to have 2 victories under the belt before going on to face Liverpool at Burgundy, and I don't think that comes with chopping and changing the squad too much. I don't know.
No, no, definitely.
You can correct
No,
me
no,
on this, but I
no,
personally
no.
feel
I like it's my opinion. It's my personal feeling also. I think there would be chopping and changing. There would be chopping and changing because we need a fit team playing against Liverpool. Like so many injuries were happening again with us. So like we won't consider. I know we are in such a condition right now that we need around 5 to 6 points more to like secure that top 4 position.
I think our top four is fairly secure. The issue would
No,
be probably dropping
we
out
still
from.
need 5 points. We
I
still
don't
need
think.
5 points.
I'm not talking about mathematically again. I'm talking about generally. I think Chelsea have secure top four. I don't think there will be a scenario where Spurs and Arsenal manage to topple Chelsea and Chelsea goes down to fifth. I don't think that scenario will come at all. But probably to secure, there might be an issue if the form is similar. There might be an issue with Chelsea holding on to the third spot. So there are chances might be Spurs and Arsenal can overtake. If Chelsea, I think the difference between Arsenal and Chelsea is right now
Three
3 points,
points.
but Chelsea have a much superior goal difference. So if Chelsea is probably losing 2 matches out of the next four and Arsenal manage to win all of them, then fair enough. But I don't see that happening, to be honest, because uh, these are particular match that I think Chelsea will be able to look out. I
Did
completely
you
agree to.
expect? Did you expect us to lose against Everton? I was telling that I was like expecting a draw at least. But yeah, come on.
I don't think so. the Chelsea result against Everton was as shocking as probably because you are a fan of the club, you are talking from a fan's perspective. But if you look at the last 10 matches, Chelsea haven't been able to beat for the last 7 times Everton. So I don't think that's a very shocking result. I think I was looking up some stats. The last time Chelsea beat Everton at Goodison Park was 5 years back. It's a long time ahead. Obviously, they are probably a kind of a boggy team or
No,
somewhat.
right now again see our match is against I think Leeds in the second part of this particular match. I think Leeds are again in relegation battle. They would definitely fight for their lives to get points from us. And
I
like
don't think. Well, I don't agree to it because I don't think Leeds have that quality or capacity to fight for their lives because their fight for their life for Leeds was also against City and they capitulated to a 4-0. Uh, See, I think you are talking a bit more, probably a bit more closer to the picture being a fan. But I think if you think logically, I'm not denying what you're saying that Chelsea needs a fit squad for the FA Cup final and there might be a chopping and changing. But I think probably Alonso, I feel, starts both the matches. I don't know,
yeah,
I might be wrong. But I think if somebody is to come for their defense, I think Alonso will start both the matches. I don't
yeah.
see a scenario where Tuchel will be trusting either Sol or Sar in that sense to play the left back role. So yeah, I feel Alonso is a good pick for the double game week, in spite of whatever might be the feeling as a Chelsea fan for you. He also has a very high potential. He was playing as a striker against Everton, which was also a need for the game because obviously Chelsea was trailing for a very long time. But in the last few weeks, at least, he has proven out to be very attacking. He has gotten into the box, and I think if we talk purely from an FPL perspective, I think he is a very good pick. Apart from Alonso, do you think anybody else is there who starts both the matches? I would say Rudiger starts both the matches. I'm not.
Probably Rudiger would start both the matches. Apart from Rudiger and Alonso, I don't see anyone else starting both the matches.
James probably would be tested. I don't know. I think
James would be rested
James.
definitely.
I think James is being very underutilized. I don't know. I mean, what is the point of protecting James if he's not performing anything to the output? I think you would rather have James play one match as a wing back and then probably rest the next match rather than him playing and not being effective at all. Is there any chance like Thiago Silva plays both the matches? And this I'm asking personally because I own Thiago Silva in
No,
my team. He
no,
should.
I don't think so.
Okay. So, yeah, why don't you speak about Chelsea? Who else do you think what will be the rotation and in the attack and who will be starting? Who might be benched?
I think Pulisic, I think Ziyech, Pulisic, they would start one match for sure. I think there is a fair enough chance that Mount would be benched. I guess I don't see any attacker who would start both the matches. I don't see. It's my personal opinion. Lukaku might start one match, but again, Havertz Warner might start one match. Mount may start one match. Pulisic Ziyech might start one match. Hudson Odoi is rumored to be fit, so probably he will get some minutes in his belt. So I don't see actually. Uh, Apart from
So,
that, I guess
yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
Tell me. I think Loftus-Cheek is someone who can play both the matches, but in FPL perspective, I think he is of no use.
So, so I
I
think
think
it's
apart from
fair enough.
Alonso and Rudiger, I don't see anyone to start both the matches. It's definitely one match for. I would be very surprised if James starts both the matches.
I think it's fair enough to say that. Chelsea's defense is a apart from defense, I think the rest of the Chelsea team is a hard pass for the double game week. I think
Yeah,
people should be focusing at least attacking perspective somewhere else. Right?
mm, definitely.
Okay, fair enough. So moving on, I think the next team to discuss probably is Leicester.
Yeah, Leicester, I think today I think Madison is fit enough to start. I think Madison, Barnes, Vardy, I think all are fit enough to start.
Okay,
What's the
let's
current score line right now?
just quickly do this. So let's just quickly cover these teams, and then so consider if you were on a free hit or a wild card. I don't think anybody else has a wild card till now, but assuming that if you were on a free hit, would you be picking anybody from Aston Villa for the double
No,
game?
no,
Me neither. I think Leeds is a very hard pass. Probably they have the worst set of fixtures against Chelsea and against Arsenal. They might turn out with a goal, but I don't think. Personally, for me, I would not pick any Leeds player. Would you be considering any
no,
Leeds player?
no, definitely not. If I'm not fit, then definitely not.
Okay. I think there's no point in discussing Norwich even. So let's just move out from that. Watford might be a consideration. Watford, I think, has Crystal Palace away and Everton home. The only consideration for me from Watford would be if you cannot afford a good goalkeeper and if you're looking at Costa. So that would be the extent of what I will be looking from Watford. I don't expect Watford to keep a single clean sheet. So that's just if you want the feeling of having a double game week keeper. I would personally not rather have a double game week keeper than having Foster. So that's where I stand at. Wolves also have a very bad double game week. One is against Chelsea away, one is at Man City at home. Personally, would not pick any Wolves. Would you consider like Sa for the double game safe point
No,
wise?
I think like Kasper is a better pick. I think Ramsdale are a better pick than him.
So we would not be discussing Leeds, Norwich, Watford, Wolves. So let's talk about Leicester. So before we do that, why don't you like? What do you think would be the scoreline for Chelsea against Wolves and Leeds against?
I think Chelsea would win against Wolves. I think they would win by 2-0. And Leeds, I would probably go for a 1-1 draw.
I think Chelsea will win both the matches too. That's my personal prediction. So um, Leicester. So Leicester has a very, on paper at least, very good double game week fixture against Everton at home and Norwich at home. In saying that, Leicester's defense has been, I think, the fourth worst over the entire season. A lot of people are looking at, particularly, I think people are looking at Schmeichel, if I'm not wrong, for the keeping option. So Leicester have actually improved quite considerably, wherein they are somewhat around mid-table in terms of defense over the last 6 game weeks. So, would you be considering anybody else apart from Michael for the Leicester defense? I personally would not.
I think Madison would be a nice punt, but
I'm talking about
depends.
defense. Defense.
Okay, defense. Defense. I think I would skip the defense.
Yeah, I think probably Schmeichel if you're looking for a double game week. But there is a very realistic possibility that uh, they do keep a clean sheet against Norwich, but I think right now, at least how Everton are playing, a clean sheet against Everton looks a bit far-fetched. I expect Everton to score in that particular match. So yeah, right now Leicester are losing. I think you were asking. Leicester are losing 1-0 to Roma. As things stands, I think Roma would progress to the final. So yeah, unless they can do some kind of turnaround in the next 12 minutes, seems like. Interesting to see what were the substitutions for Leicester. So, well, Lookman was substituted by Amate. That was just a defensive solidarity, I'm guessing. Harvey Barnes was substituted by Iheanacho again at the 46-minute mark, which is not really good for Barnes owner, honestly. He has not been showing any as such confidence in Barnes. I mean, in spite of Barnes not starting the Conference League tie, he also did not start the weekend tie, which I was fairly confident that Barnes would be starting. But he did not start the weekend match, and now he started and he has again been subbed around the halfway mark, which probably might fare well for Barnes in the terms that he might start the next match, but it doesn't look very promising. So yeah, let's talk about Leicester's attack. I think attacking wise, it's a fairly decent set of fixtures that they have.
Yeah,
Any
completely agree with you. I
picks
guess
that interest you?
I think medicine is someone who will interest me. Vardy, I don't know. He just came back from an injury. I don't know how much. Like, would he be fit enough to start 3 matches in a week time? And especially Vardy is there in their starting lineup today. And the problem is that Leicester don't have anything to play for actually. So like they might like try with some new youngster, like new player or something, or they might try some formation for the next season or something like that. So
I
that's an
don't
issue.
think that would be a possibility because well, very soon Leicester might not have anything to play for after if they lose the match tonight, which is
Yeah.
hardly I think 10-12 minutes remaining. Vardy is incidentally still playing now, right now, so he has not been benched. I think they would try to maximize the home matches. There wouldn't be too much rotation. Vardy is somebody I am particularly interested in because he's not being talked about a lot. I think he's a monster when it comes to double game weeks and these sort of fixtures when he's probably very overlooked.
I I think Vardy would play one match. I think Daka and Nacho would start one match, and I think Vardy would play in one match. That's my opinion. But again, I think in game week 37, I think Leicester again have a double game week. I think in that particular week, I think Vardy would play both the matches. I think that particular game week, I think it's quite interesting for them.
Do you think like Vardy gets 120 minutes over the double game week? I think that's a possibility. Can.
Uh, yeah, there is a possibility for that.
Uh, Barring Madison, I don't think anybody is as interesting. But the problem with that is I don't think Madison may start both the matches.
Himself,
Do
yeah,
you
I
think he'll
think
start both the matches?
no, I don't think he would start both the matches because he just came back from an injury, I guess. I think, but again, I see 120 minutes.
Yeah, but
I
again, the
see.
thing is, a lot depends on the like scenario, mentality, everything. Because it would be very hard to assume because if Leicester are to go out of the Conference League tonight, which is has been their whole and sole concentration, I actually would question like what do they have to play for? So it
Exactly.
might it might be a fun outing for Leicester wherein they don't care about the defense, they just want to score and like, have fun kind of a match.
Uh,
So
n-
I
no,
I
I said like okay, fine. I think they would try something for the next season, like some kind of formation or some kind of switch about the players or something like that. So yeah,
I feel the Norwich match will be much more profitable for anybody who's wanting to own any Leicester players as such. rather than the Everton match. I personally think Everton will win the match against Leicester, and because also it is right after mm, the conference tie is happening right now. Uh, I would say Everton probably winning like 2-1, and or probably a 1-0. And yeah, I think Leicester can beat Norwich, so that will be an interesting tie. So if Vardy is to start that, I do see Vardy doing well in that particular.
Yeah,
I
interesting.
I I
I
feel
didn't see that.
yeah.
I didn't see that particularly. Then, but yeah, I think if looking to the fixtures now, I think yeah, Vardy is a decent shout. I think against Norwich, he would probably get a brace or something like that.
Mhm. Because I don't expect Vardy to start the Everton match. I would absolutely be convinced probably like somebody like Daka or Iheanacho starts that match. Vardy might come on for the last 20-30 minutes if at all need be. I don't see the need to be honest, but if at all need be, he can because he has been doing those sub kind of roles prior to this game week at least. So he has been coming on for 25 minutes, 30 minutes. And after that, I do see Vardy starting the Norwich match. So yeah, I think if anybody, because the general talk in the community about striker has been either Richarlison or Nketiah throughout. So if anybody is looking to make some sort of a difference, like want to take a punt, I feel in spite of the limited minutes, Vardy should actually score very high, especially the Norwich match. So yeah,
I agree
might be a
completely.
candidate for captaincy as well. Uh, Moving on from this, I think Everton are very interesting to discuss. Obviously, like needless to say, everybody by this point knows Richarlison is the talisman. Did he get the
Player
ban?
pick it.
Did he get the
No,
ban?
no, no, no,
He
no,
has
no.
been fined, right? Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
he's
was
been fine.
fairly confident that he wouldn't be getting banned because the entire Everton season relies on Richarlison. The problem with Richarlison is he's been taking constantly, but I don't see him as an explosive like option. And somehow I feel this is again a personal feeling. I feel Everton, the prospect, much like City, are much better for defense rather than attack. So Everton face both the matches are away. One is away against Leicester, one is away against Watford. Potentially, I think Everton can keep a clean sheet in both the matches.
I don't see they keeping a clean sheet against Leicester, but yeah, against Watford, probably they would keep a clean sheet. And talking about the clean sheet, I'm really interested in their defense particularly.
So I think if Yedi Mina is fit, he's very important. I feel particularly for Everton. Whenever he
Yeah.
plays, he Everton does look a lot more solid than they usually are. So,
Pickford
but
is I think Pickford is also a decent pick if you are like playing a free hit or something like that.
I think keeper wise, Pickford is the best pick for this double game week. I don't I see a lot of people going for Ramsdale. I think I would go Pickford over Ramsdale particularly because even if he's not keeping a clean sheet, he's making a million saves a match. So you will get a lot of save points from there. From an attacking perspective, from a defensive perspective, anybody else, Coleman will play both the matches. I'm not been following Everton that much. Is Coleman playing both?
I, from defensive perspective, I think their left back, Michaelenko. I don't know how to pronounce it
Mikalenko.
exactly.
Mikalenko, yeah.
Yeah, Michaelenko. He's 4.9, and I guess I saw the Chelsea match. He was quite in the attacking. His
I
like positioning was quite good. He was seen in the box quite well. I think he's a decent shout for me.
is Lampard like playing a wing back kind of a system?
No, he is playing the 4-4-2. Like last match, they played three in the back. But again, I think in like 4-4-2 also, I think he has a decent attacking potential.
I think
The only
if it's a
the
wing back
only
kind of
thing
a role, then yeah, Mikalenko is a very good, or at least a decent option. Yeah, you were
the
saying something.
only thing yeah only thing is that I think he had a probably he had a knock against us or something like that. I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
I think probably, yeah, I think we should wait for the presser, but I think he should be fit. I haven't heard anything as such of him being injured. It's very difficult. Well, it's not really difficult. I see a lot of consideration going on for Gordon. I personally own Gordon, but Gordon somehow gives me the vibe of the kind of player that has a lot of potential, but eventually that does not convert into FPL points. He's always in and around there in the box shooting, but somehow that does not get converted into an FPL point. If you are on a free hit, I would absolutely not squander a midfield position for a player like Gordon. But yeah, if he's already there in your team and you don't have any chips, I think he's a very decent pick.
I I I think like people who would be in a free hit and who would be going with like Salah, KDB, Son, like something like that. I think Gordon is a very decent out who have a very nice double game week and whose like price is quite low. So I feel like he's a decent budget option for me. Like if you are getting like San, KDB, Salah, like a heavy midfield or like a San or like a Kane, like if you have like two, three high price players, I think Gordon is a decent pick for your budget friendly option.
Okay. I personally don't agree to that because if it's a matter of having one budget option in your team, I think probably NKTI is a much better budget option than there is a price difference. I understand, but I would rather plumb for NKTI rather than God. Right? Speaking of NKTI, I think let's just quickly talk about Arsenal as well as Spurs. So, firstly, Arsenal, I think. The advantage of it is that Arsenal's first match is against Leeds, so I think a fairly similar kind of team starts to what started in the last match. Uh, Ben White, for anybody holding, he is not injured. His rest was more of fatigue related. So he has been playing top level football for constantly 2 years. So yeah, that was kind of a rest in that sense. Apart from this, I think I wouldn't be picking Tavares if anybody is considering that. If you have to pick an Arsenal defender, I think Gabriel is the one to go for. Considering you,
Tomiyasu?
I wouldn't be very sure that Tommy plays both the matches. Uh, I'm not. I'm not saying that he does not play both the matches. I'm not confident about his minutes because Cedric is. Yeah, he's a good backup, and considering Tomiyasu just came back from an injury, I don't think Arteta would be sucking the life out of him. Especially Leeds match, it is probably not required. Although we need to win all the matches. So yeah, even for people who are considering, I have been suggesting to a lot of people that Nketiah might not be made to play both the matches, which I also stand by till now. There is a decent chance that Lacazette might start the Spurs match, although he's completely out of favor with Mikel Arteta right now. So unless Nketiah does something horribly wrong in the Leeds match, there's the chances of Lacazette starting the North London derbies are very slim. The only thing favoring him is probably the experience factor and the fact that he has played in a lot of North London derbies till now. But the matchup that is beneficial for Arsenal is probably the Leeds one. So if you're holding on to Nketiah or Saka, I think the Leeds match is the one that you're targeting. Although I think the North London derby will also be fairly high scoring.
Like, what do you expect the score line against Arsenal Spurs?
Firstly, I think pick wise, if you have to think, consider anybody for us from Arsenal, I think has to be Saka or probably nobody else. If you want a budget, somebody. Nketiah, I would not again suggest Martinelli because he might start. If he starts, he's a very good option, but you never know. Which pro might start. So yeah, either Saka is probably close to again a must. We will not say he is an absolute have. You have to have Saka, but yeah, it's close to that because his effective ownership will be also quite high. Uh, and apart from this, probably Nketiah. Score prediction, I think 3-1 against Leeds, and I would say 2-all draw against Spurs. That's what
Yeah.
I feel the scoreline would. What about you?
And yeah, I feel Spurs and Arsenal it will be 2-2. But again, Leeds, I guess you guys would win it by 2-0.
Yeah, because
I feel
yeah,
as you said, Gabriel is a very good option. I think if Ben White is fit enough, I think Ben White is a decent and cheap option.
he's a cheap option, but he is not exactly somebody who will give you any attacking return. So if you're looking for something extra from your Arsenal defender, because we will not be keeping a clean sheet against Spurs. I at least don't foresee a situation wherein we will be keeping a clean sheet against Spurs. But so yeah, and there's a fair chance that we might. We are not very sound defensively right now. So personally, I would not actually opt for a defender at all. But if you have to opt for a defender and you are looking for something extra return attacking wise, I think it was already displayed in the weekend that has gone by that Gabriel has that potential from a corner and in the box. So Rob Holding might not start all the matches, so I would not suggest Rob Holding. Also, Leeds have been, I think, bottom two for the entire season defensively, and even after Jesse Marsh has come in, they are still in the bottom four in the last 6 game weeks defensively, underlying statistics wise. So yeah, it does look like a good matchup for both Arsenal as well as Chelsea, whom they are facing for a high scoring. Okay, let's talk about Spurs. So, what is your general feeling with Spurs?
I think in Spurs, if you're going with someone, it should be definitely Son.
Yeah, I agree because Sun. One thing is Sun is in the Golden Boot race suddenly, which I was actually not much aware about, and suddenly I'm just realizing that yeah, he's not very far off. So, and he also has the fixtures to aim for that. Although he did specifically mention that after the post match that he is not concerned about the Golden Boot. But I think there will be that kind of an increase. Barring that, I think in the last 6 game weeks, Sun has taken his game to somewhat of another level altogether.
Yeah, next level,
Eh,
next level.
Yeah, his conversion rate is amazing. His conversion rate is somewhat around 55%, which is insane. I mean, if you consider that to Harry Kane's conversion rate is sub 10% right now in the last 6 game weeks. He has scored 8 goals over that period, and I think a couple of assists, if I'm not wrong. So yeah,
I think
at
Son is
times,
a must pick.
I don't like to label anybody as a must-have, but yeah, because sometimes we tend to overthink in FPL. Like a lot of people own this player, then what is the use of taking this player? But I think generally sometimes it is better to play this game very simply. So yeah, if somebody is on a free hit and they are looking to make the switch, even if you can afford one amongst Son and Kane, probably you should take Son right now.
Yeah.
Because if somebody, a lot of people are in the situation whether they're thinking whether they should switch from Kane to Son or not. I don't think that's a bad proposition, to be honest, because
Mm,
Son is first of all
exactly.
cheaper than Kane, and I think that helps a lot. So yeah, barring Son, probably Kane, I wouldn't be taking any other Spurs asset, or rather, I would not rather suggest any Spurs asset. I don't see them keeping any clean sheet for this double game week.
Uh, Thinking about Kulu,
I think he's probably not explosive enough. I mean, very wrong to say that after he has given a couple of assists. But there was some talk from Kante wherein he said that he wants Kudu to play as the wing back. The right hand side probably is not happy with Emerson's output, and Doherty is obviously out for the season. So I don't know how that affects, and he does not look like that explosive pick for that midfield spot in a double game week. So like I don't see people would be doubling up on Spurs. If you're doubling up on Spurs, then probably Sun and a Kulu is fine, but in no ways is Kulusevski a replacement for Sun. Sun is the pick.
absolutely, absolutely.
So yeah, I think we have covered all the double game weeks. So I think
I,
people would have a
I,
fair idea.
just a point, just a point. Talking about Villa, I think Villa's first game is against Burnley away.
Yeah, it's a difficult
Do
time.
you, like people who those who have Coutinho in the team? Should you suggest them to switch to someone else?
On a free hit, yes. On a
Hmm.
transfer, probably debatable because the thing, or the rather the situation is that Villa also has a double game week right after this game week as well. I think that particular game week is much more suited to Villa's general play. The general, also the problem with Coutinho is that it's not looking right, you know, in it, to be honest, or
Yeah,
rather,
I think like Watkins is looking in a better FPL post predicting than I think Coutinho right now.
yeah, that although that is true. So, but the general thing that I wanted to state is I feel there might be a risk that Coutinho might be benched as well. So he isn't exactly like a elite pick that probably is not performing, but nonetheless will start. So that is something that might not happen. So
Yeah, exactly. I think Steven Gerrard I think told in his post match conference that from Bundia and Coutinho only one can play, and now looking that Bundia is again fit enough, I think probably he can miss one particular match also.
yeah. So plus Bundia was good. I mean, he did contribute to the second goal that Villa scored eventually. So yeah, I mean, it does make sense that probably Coutinho will be given a breather. He is much better prospect, and he can probably analyze Coutinho much better going the next game. Yeah, right now I think he can be avoided. Would I make the switch for a hit? Probably yes, but that's just me. uh, I think another player that we have not spoken about because we completely dismissed Norwich. I think a lot of people are considering Pukki. So, do you see potential in Pukki? Why am I stating this right now? Is because first match of Norwich is against West Ham at home. Norwich are relegated; they don't care, and West Ham have just been knocked out of the Europa League. So, I think there will be kind of a shoulder drooping kind of mentality from West Ham. They will be pretty
Yeah,
much tired. They
I
had to
agree.
play almost. I think 80 minutes with 10 men, so that's pretty exhausting on the team as well. I don't see them performing. So yeah, I don't think Pookie. I don't see he's a very good option, but I don't see him as a very bad option as
Bad
well.
option either. Yeah, completely agree.
Because the first matches against West Ham as at home, as I said, that probably might suit him, and also the next matches against Leicester, who exactly are not that defensively sound. So, might not be worse.
Mhm.
I would you say, and I think this might be controversial. Would you say Pookie is a better pick than Richarlison? But I think he is, considering the fixtures.
Considering this for particular this week, I don't think so. I think Everton are in a. I think Everton in a good position right now.
But
Probably their
Norwich
like
are
pictures are
Norwich will be playing two teams who have nothing to play for. I mean, West Ham are pretty much they don't have anything to aim for. They probably have to aim for Europa, which I think they will be finishing in that position or spot.
like Everton. I think Everton also have a fixture against Leicester. Leicester also have nothing to play for. Their second match is against whom? That's Everton, I
Watford.
guess. Watford. I think Watford also doesn't have anything to play for as such.
But if
I guess
Watford do get a result against Palace, I think they will be giving it all out in that particular match. Also for Everton, I mean, have to understand this perspective as well. I think a lot of people who have not been playing this for a very long time. When a team has something to play for as important as survival, uh, goal scoring is not the natural thought that comes in the mind at first. It's mostly about securing. So the concentration levels are probably much more higher towards not conceding rather than scoring. A lot where there are very few teams, probably teams like Leeds, who play like that no matter what, that they do play on the attacking mode. But generally, the perception, if it's a very important tie, is it's a pretty low scoring match. So, in that sense, these kind of inconsequential matches, like where Norwich also does not have anything to play for, West Ham also does not have anything to play for, Leicester, Norwich, these usually do turn out to be pretty high scoring. If we being on penalty, I think Richarlison is also on penalty, but I don't. I'm not saying. Okay, I'll rephrase. I'll not say that Pookie is a better option than Richarlison, but I don't think he's very far off worse option than Richarlison.
yeah, Pookie is not a bad option. I completely agree with that, but I don't agree that Pookie is a better option than
Yeah, I will retract whatever I said, but
him.
if budget is not permitting, I don't think you will be losing out on too many points if you're picking the over Richarlison.
Uh, like if you go for the budget pick like Gordon, Gray, or and Nikita or Pookie, who would be your first option? Pookie,
Gordon, who?
Gray,
Gordon Gray,
Gray, Gray.
Demare Gray.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's not even in consideration.
okay, fine.
Gordon, as I stated already, that I don't think his thing actually materializes towards points. I would
Rank them. That's
probably still pick Nketiah,
fast.
Eddie over Pookie, but I wouldn't mind if somebody is going big in defense and big on midfield, and if their budget permits Pookie and Nketiah up front, I don't think that's be a very bad. It's not the worst option. Is all I'm saying. Right. Apart from this, any other mm, single game week fixture that is of interest? Doesn't look like.
Uh,
Brighton United.
doesn't work.
I don't think that will be a very high scoring or anything. Brentford, Southampton. Yeah, I think we can fairly move on.
Yeah,
Nothing to attach.
Brentford South. Yeah, I think Brentford Southampton. I think Tony might score.
Southampton have not been good generally. They are again
Yeah.
one of those teams who have nothing to play for. So yeah, I think Brentford generally. I will not say that they are a reactionary team that they will react to the loss against United, but uh, yeah, I think they are very fairly very decent at their home and the matches at their home. Yeah, it should be goal scoring. Would you pick Tony over any double game week forward like
No,
Nketiah or
no.
okay? So considering all this, I mean, let's have a very quick look at the remaining fixtures for anybody who might not be knowing. This is has been done. This table has been done by a very good friend of mine, FPL enthusiast. So yeah, he's done this brilliant table along with whatever ties that there is to play for. So if you see like for West Ham in 37, there is City and Europa League question mark. So that question mark is removed now. West Ham is eliminated, but had they qualified for it for the final was in between 37 and 38. So that would have been really interesting going into the final weekend. But anyways, that is not happening right now. Even Leicester are eliminated from the Conference League, which was supposed to happen after game week 38, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, after that.
Midweek after 38. So even Leicester are out of it. So yeah, again, not much to play for. So yeah, I think if you look at City's fixture, it is pretty good straight going forward. If you're building a wildcard team by any chance right now, so yeah, try to plump your team with teams that have five fixture going forward. So try to play the fixture game. Uh, big, you can see a big black spot in 37 and 15. So Man United are the only team which will have a blank game week from now till the end of the season. So definitely do not. If you're holding United assets, sell. So that's about it. So a very important discussion, Anjan. Captaincy this game week. We've discussed
I think
a lot of things and a lot of points. So what do you think? Where do you see captaincy
yeah,
wise?
I think Salah is definitely the number one choice.
Hmm?
Apart from Salah, my next pick would be I think Cancelo. Uh, Cancelo would be a decent shout. I think Cancelo has that particular clean sheet. Okay, City as such has a clean sheet potential in both those matches. And apart from that, I think Cancelo have a very decent attacking potential also. Apart from Cancelo, I guess uh, the problem is that uh, I would love to pick a City mid as my captain, but the problem is that I don't know which particular City mid would start both the matches. I think probably KDB and uh, I think Richarlison would also be a decent double game week pick. I considering he would play the complete 180 minutes, and I think these three four picks are fine for me. What
For me,
about you?
I think if I have to rank, I think number one is Salah. Number two would be De Bruyne, and number three would be Son. On the captaincy matrix is point wise. And if somebody is looking to go a bit differential route, I think Wadi is a good differential as a captain. I do,
Cancelo, do you think he's a decent option?
yeah, absolutely, because I do expect City to be both the clean sheets. So they will be going after this individual laurels now uh, for winning the Golden Glove and stuff. I think even defenders, I don't think any other City defender, Cancelo, yes, but his attacking output has diminished considerably over the last few weeks. He has not given an attacking return for a very long time. You would be getting clean sheet points from Cancelo, probably an assist here and there, not much more than that.
Jota? Do you think Jota would be a differential captain?
He's a very spicy captain choice, but yeah, it's a high risk, high reward game. It's all well and good us predicting that he would be playing, but we don't know exactly what Klopp will be opting for. So probably it's a risk a bit tad too much. But yeah, he does have good attacking potential. In saying that, he has not looked particularly good in the last couple of matches that I've seen him. So,
I agree. Completely agree with that one. Like those people, like you and me and many other people also have left their triple captaincy option. Do you think this particular week is the best triple captaincy option?
yeah, probably yes. Because if you look at the doubles from the next game week, well, let's look at the doubles for Leicester. The next game week is Watford away and Chelsea away. That's not a very good fixture. Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, Burnley. There generally is nobody who you would be considering for a triple captaincy. I'm guessing, especially with how Coutinho's form is right now. Unless you're considering somebody like Watkins, I don't see that happening. So yeah, genuine contenders. If you want to use triple captaincy on a double game week, I think this is the last game week, and Salah is still the best of triple captaincy picks. If you want to keep it simple.
True. Like,
Salah pick makes sense. I think this is my personal suggestion, gut feeling, whatever you say. I think Luis Diaz will not be very far off than Salah point wise over the double game weeks. Let's move on to your team, Anjan.
yeah,
So quickly, I will, as you cannot see the screen right now. So I'll just quickly read your team out. Ramsdale, Trent, Cancelo, James, Jota, Saka, Coutinho, Sterling, Warner, Eddie Nketiah, Kane, captain. You have a lot of double game players in your squad. Foster on bench, Aitmuri on bench, Dixon and Dot. So
yeah.
obviously, I'm assuming you will be making
Doherty,
some moves. So what are your moves?
my Warner, no, my first move is Warner to Richarlison. That I should have done it last week itself. Anyways, that is my first move. My second move would be, I think, moving Coutinho to someone like I would have been interested in Foden, but again, Foden played 120 minutes against Real Madrid. I think Luis Diaz is a nice option, and uh, I guess I would probably go for a Everton defender
In place of.
in place of Doherty.
So what is the formation that you're playing?
James would be in my bench.
You're not playing James.
No, I'll
Which
be playing James.
so James would be more prone towards being benched in the Leeds match, right?
Yeah,
So Coutinho to you said Luis Diaz and Warner to Richarlison and Doherty to you're going for which defender?
Everton defender.
Cool, not bad. I don't like the Everton defender move to be very honest, but it makes sense.
Uh, like, what do you think? What could you have done with this particular team? Any suggestion?
I would have figured out, or at least tried to figure out a way you can get Sun.
Okay. I could I could get Sun if I'm. Do you think uh
There's an
like
issue with your voice. Um,
like uh is it okay now?
yeah, it's fine.
Like whom do you think would score more points in this particular double game week? Luis Diaz or Son?
Probably Sun.
Okay.
Anyways, so that is something to be marinating in your head. Because there are potential risks in your team. Sterling might or might not start both the games,
Hmm.
and your captaincy is that assured on Harry Kane, or like, you would be considering
No,
some.
I said I'd probably captain cancel.
Okay. And are you using your triple captaincy?
Well, that's the issue I'm thinking right now. I don't know who would be the best triple captaincy option for me. Like I can't fit Salah. I think if I could fit Salah, I think Salah is the best triple captaincy option. But again, I don't know how to fit him.
How much do you have in bank?
I have 1.1 in my bank.
1.1.
Hmm.
So Warner to Richarlison gives you how much?
Uh, I think Wonder is I think 8.6 or 8.4. I don't remember exactly. I can't tinker also right now.
Warner
I
is
think
8.6 if I'm not wrong. Let me
8.6.
just
Then
quick look.
Wonder is 8.6. The reservation is 7.9 or 7.7, right?
I think Richarlison would be 7.5.
No, I think it's 7.7, I guess.
Warner's FPL price is 8.7. I don't know what is the price for you. And
I think it should be 8.6 for me.
let's just quickly check what is the price for Richarlison. Oh, it's 7.5. Yeah, it's
It's 7.5.
7.5. Yeah. So
7.5.
you
So
would be having how much in your bank?
2.2. 2.2.
2.2. And James, if you're downgrading James to somebody, so probably go for something like
I can get Son, I guess. But Salah would be a far stress thing for me.
you can probably get James to rather you can probably go James to an Everton defender, somebody cheap, probably in the range of I don't know, Keane plays all the matches, Holgate plays all the matches, somebody like that,
No.
and Warner to Richarlison, and I personally would look at the possibility of upgrading Sterling to Salah and doing Coutinho to Mahrez. You know,
Okay. So you are suggesting MI minus 12 for me.
well, in any case, you're taking hits, so
Yeah.
why not take?
Yeah.
I mean, what you suggested was already a -8.
Yeah.
So if it gives you a comfortable triple captaincy choice in Salah, something to consider.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's
I
look at my. Oh, yeah, you are asking something?
No, no, no. I have to check out. Like, I have to see, like, how
Yeah,
much fund do I
you have
get.
to check that whether the fund is permitting that one. Yeah.
Hmm.
My team looks like Pope in goal, Cancelo, whom the captaincy is on right now. because I don't have anybody else I think I can captain right now. So Robertson, Thiago Silva, Laporte, Kulusevski, Martinelli, Coutinho, Barnes, Gordon, Kane. On my bench is Dubravka, Weghorst, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Diego Dalot. So basically, why Ronaldo is on bench is because I'll be selling Ronaldo. I have not decided who am I selling him for. So that's a bit peculiar. I would either dead end this position altogether, wherein I'll go for a 4.5 million forward, which is my, I think, preferred choice. Otherwise, I will probably go for a budget striker like I was thinking maybe Richarlison, but I'm not sure. I'm I'm a bit confused about what I should be doing, but I have to sell Ronaldo to generate fund. I already have 3.1 in my bank. I will probably be upgrading Barnes and maybe Coutinho.
So Barnes and Coutinho to whom?
I have basically have Kulusevski, Martinelli, Coutinho, Barnes, Gordon. So even if Gordon, let's say I'm okay with, I'm not using my free hit chip, or at least I'm in a dilemma whether I should use my free hit chip or not, because I will get the same team back again next game, which I'm again not particularly thrilled or happy about. Um, Martinelli needs to go. I feel Kulusevski needs to go. Barnes probably needs to go. Is this is what I feel, but probably Coutinho over Barnes. Barnes is still a good shout for this double game week. I'm looking at a permutation as to how I can get Sun and probably a City mid and probably a Liverpool mid. I'm not sure.
Liverpool mid which one you are taking? Salah.
I don't think I can afford Salah. I can do the same move that I suggested. I can probably go Salah and Mahrez and then look at what I can do with that third position. That is one possibility. Apart from that, if I cannot get Salah, I think I would be tempted with Luis Diaz.
Okay.
Although Jota does look a good for start here. So I'm a bit confused about that.
So are you like uh, would you be using any chip, be it triple captaincy or free?
If I'm not using free hit, then yes, I'll be using triple captaincy. And I haven't thought about the triple captaincy chip until now that we are speaking right now. So I had completely forgotten that I should be playing triple captaincy in this particular game. So then that actually will change and dictate my transfers a lot, considering who I
So
wanted to be captain.
it's like considering that you would triple captain someone. So what would be your transfer?
I think I'll wait for the press conference. I am interested to know the KDB news. So let's see what that is, what's happening on that front. If he seems to be fit, I think might just go for KDB as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
people are probably much more confused than when they started watching the pod. But yeah, that's about it. That's how crazy right now the situation and scenarios are. Hope you guys took something. I think we discussed quite extensively and a lot of things. So something must have clicked. And yeah, as usual, we'll be posting what we are doing on Twitter and do follow us. And Twitter handles are given. Goodbye from me. It's a goodbye from me.